guys, welcome back to my channel. First of all, I want to apologise at that wardrobe situation. There's something wrong with the door. We need to like wedge it back in, so I apologise because that is quite distracting. But anyway, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. If you're new here, I upload 3 days a week on a Monday, Friday and on a Sunday. Every Sunday I upload a supportive video for expected parents. So if you like that sort of thing, then hit that subscribe button and join the family for more supportive videos. As you can tell by the title, today's video is going to be all about weaning. Such a terrifying moment. Well, for me it was anyway. I haven't got any notes, so I'm just going to talk to you about how I successfully, what I think so, weaned Edward. If there is one thing that I'm proud of, it is most definitely how well he eats. He is a fab sleeper, that's another thing that I'm really proud of, and how well he eats. He is a fantastic eater. I gave him such a range of different foods at such a young age, and there's only a couple of things he's not really a fan of. So for me, weaning has definitely been one of the hardest challenges since becoming a mum, only because you just want them to eat everything. You're worried about them choking, you're worried about allergic reactions. Have they eaten enough? Are they going to be hungry? Are they going to be up in the night because they're hungry? Is it going to be a rubbish night's sleep? I'm going to go into more detail about how I did it and what I did. There's so many different stories. So many mums wean in a different way at different ages, and they just do it completely different. Some mums are completely laid back about it. They don't really mind how much food their child consumes, whereas I'm completely different. I wanted to make sure everyone was getting a good amount of food in him. It's just how I was. So I started weaning Edward when he was 4.5 months old. So I did it very early. That was my choice as his mum. I knew he was ready. My mum weaned all of us at a young age, and I just go, you naturally do what your mum did. I think you naturally go to your mum. She's done it. I just naturally go to her, and she weaned us at like 13 weeks, I think. So that's crazy early. But I did it at 4.5 months, not because of pressure from my mum. It was because I thought he was ready, and he was ready. If you're weaning before 6 months, you just have to be extra observant. You have to make sure the child can hold his head up, because if he's all like this, how's food going to go down? The baby needs to support himself. If he's not supporting himself, there's no way you can feed him solid foods. It just wouldn't work. So Edward was holding his head up at a very young age. He has always been quite strong in his neck. So I thought 4.5 months, he was ready. I wanted to wait until 5, but he was not massively interested in his bottles anymore. He was just not enjoying them, and I just knew it as his mum. You just know, and that was the right time. Up until 6 to a year old, food is just play with them. So you're just experimenting different textures, colours, flavours. You are just experimenting what they like, what they don't like, because up until a year old they can live off their milk. They can survive through that. They're getting everything they need through their milk, or their vitamins and minerals. They're getting everything through that. But when they go beyond 1, they need the food in their diet for their development and growth, and that's when they actually need food. Don't be like how I was. I was so scared he wasn't eating enough food, but my friends kept on having to remind me, it's play, don't worry. But yeah, so just make sure you remember that as well. So what I did in the very first days of weaning is I went down the baby rice route. However, next time I will not be doing that. I will not be going down the baby porridge or baby rice route at all. In my experience, I found it is so bloating for their tummies. They've only had to digest milk. That's all they've been used to digesting. However, you then throw rice and massive stodgy carbs in their tummy, hopefully to fill them up because they sleep longer in the night. Forget that. It's just going to bloat his tummy. It takes him so long to digest it. They then get constipated, and it was just a massive error, and something that I will not do in the future. After I decided to give baby rice the boot, basically, I then went to purifying fruits and vegetables. Ideally, I would recommend that you start with veg, only because obviously fruit is a lot sweeter, and if you introduce fruit first, they are obviously going to prefer that. Everyone would prefer the fruit because it's sweeter, it's much more enjoyable. So just forget about the fruit if you can for the time being. Focus on your veggies. So in the early days of weaning, I only introduced Edward to one vegetable a day, if that makes any sense. So say it's a Monday, I would oversteam a carrot and sorry, if my voice sounds really weird, I think I've got a bit of a sore throat, so I apologise. So I'd oversteam a carrot and I would just mash it big time. I would just blend it with my fork, and I didn't, if I'm being honest, I didn't use a blender or a purifier, so it was literally like soup. I didn't ever use that. I just oversteamed it, so it basically was like mushy. I got the back of my fork and I was just doing that with it basically until it was practically smooth. So I then was introducing that to Edward. There will be a lot of gagging, there'll be a lot of bringing it up, spitting it out. There'll be a lot of that, but you just always have to keep your eye on them and make sure you're not giving anything too lumpy in the beginning. But they will get used to it. They'll just keep going. You do think, why am I bothering? They're just spitting it out. It's a waste of food. Just keep going and keep going. So first of all, start off doing lunches. So do an ice cube size amount of food. So I have like a frozen ice cube. That's all you need to give them in the early days of weaning. So just do it every lunchtime. So Monday do carrots, Tuesday do broccoli, Wednesday do peas. Just introduce new things. That's my biggest advice to you is, oh, he really likes this, I'm going to keep doing this. But then he'll just love that, and then he won't like to try anything else. So keep introducing new flavours and new colours and keep it interesting. So food is fun for them. Food has to be fun, otherwise they'll get in their high chair and just scream because you're stressed out, he's not having enough, and it will just be hard work getting them to eat anything. So I recommend doing lunches ice cube size for about 2 weeks. Keep doing that for about 2 weeks. Check how their bowels are. If they're pooing regularly and everything, you're then ready to introduce a second meal. I would really pay attention to their bowels. If they're not pooing enough, then just continue what you're doing and let their body catch up with what's happening. You don't want to keep giving more and more and then their bellies are just going like this. So again, another big piece of advice for me to you would be to check their bowels. Sounds gross, but you need to keep an eye on that. So their poos are regular, and they will definitely change colour because they're used to having milk and then introducing food. And I'm not gonna lie, the poos are rank in the early days of weaning, disgusting. And then introduce dinner. With dinner, I always thought, oh, what do I do for dinner? Do I have to give them something more? I don't know about you, because I always feel like lunch is always small and then you have a big dinner, and I thought, do I have to give them double the amount at dinner? What can I do for dinner? You can give them carrots again. You can do the same thing that you did at lunch. Monday lunchtime he had peas, and then dinner time he had carrots. I would continue giving them one item per meal. Personally, that's what I would do. Again, do that for 2 weeks, check how their bowels are doing, then introduce a third meal of the day, which obviously will be breakfast. And breakfast could then be fruit. So I would then maybe introduce banana. You could give them maybe yogurt. You can give them yogurt with what I used to do with Ed, which he loved. I'd give him natural full fat yogurt and then whiz up fruit puree. Fruit puree, and they would then pour it onto the yogurt, and that was always a winner in this house. So once you've done that, again for 2 weeks, you've done all 3 meals, I would then suggest introducing 2 items per meal. So for instance, like I said, breakfast could then be yogurt with the fruit puree. It could be maybe Weetabix, it could be it could be some banana mushed up with some raspberries. It could be banana mushed up with strawberries. It could be anything that you think. And then in the lunchtime, I would then recommend introducing some carbs. So maybe a nice boiled potato and some carrots mixed in together, or sweet potato with peas or whatever. I would introduce a carb. Personally, that's what I would do. In my experience, once you start introducing carbs, the poo really does slow down. So make sure you introduce small amounts each time. Don't give them a huge potato, obviously, because that's a lot for their little bodies to handle. Their stomachs are tiny, so you only need small amounts of food. If you decide to wean at 6 months, by the time you've done all of these steps, your baby should be getting used to grabbing things, and then that's a great time to start introducing baby-led weaning. A lot of people think, oh, it's scary, baby-led weaning. It is scary. I was hitting myself when I first did it, but some mums wouldn't won't spoon feed, they'll go straight into baby-led weaning. So everyone can do it differently, but what I did was, by this point Edward must have been about nearly 6 months old once I had reached all these steps that I've just discussed with you. So then he was then getting used to putting things in his mouth, and I would spoon feed him still, and then I'd give him like a bit of, and then I'd give him like a tiny bit of carrot, and obviously cooked, and he would chew on it and then get used to having lumpier foods in his mouth. Can I also say as well, as the months have gone on, I am not giving him totally pureed smooth food. I went through a stage where I was mushing his food with the back of my fork. Say that's whole food there, I'd do that. It would still be lumpy. I was giving him lumpier food, definitely more lumpier than what he should have been having. I always was with him, I always checked on him. The food I gave him was always extra mushy, basically, because I always made sure I overcooked it. So if he was to choke, it would just dissolve or like crumble. So that's how I did that. I remember I went into Boots and I bought him an Ella's Kitchen pouch in his age category. I got it out and it was just like, it was literally like soup, and I thought he wouldn't eat that. He was used to lumpier food. So he was about 6-7 months. I was giving him food for, I think, from over 10 months. So I really do think, because I introduced lumpier foods earlier, he was then not with textures or lumps. Now I could give him practically a whole potato and he would just chew on it, and he's just great with eating lumpy whole foods. Of course, I always am with him. I'm only next door, I'm always with him. Every time he eats, I make sure I turn the TV down, so if he was to choke, I could hear him. I am very mindful of that, but that is just how I've done things. And I think the longer you stay with pureed food, the harder it's going to be. Of course, the first month of weaning, be safe, do your purees, blend them properly, thoroughly with your fork. If they're getting used to it and they're taking it, they're not spitting it out, they're enjoying it more, then there's a time to introduce it slightly lumpier, and just keep going. Literally just play it by ear. Listen to what your baby is practically telling you. They tell you a lot, just not so much through words. So just keep being observant, check their bowels, and just keep going. Basically, that's my biggest advice as well, is keep going. It's so hard, they're spitting it out, it's effort cooking when you've got a baby crying all the time and you've got a million things going on. It is always hard trying to think, I've got to cook him, I've got to cook that. So maybe cook in batches. You can freeze stuff in the freezer, get one out the night before, it'll be done, so you don't have to worry about it during the day. But it is so much easier planning ahead as well. So maybe write down what you want to give him. I did give Edward the Ella's Kitchen puff snack things, of course I did, I still do, but they were my last resort. I wouldn't think, oh, I've got nothing to give him, what should I give him? I'll give him that. I'd make sure I'd gave him something healthy. If I knew I had a carrot in the fridge, I'd use that rather than going to packet food. That is just how I do things, and he is now a fantastic eater. He eats broccoli like no tomorrow. He eats everything that I put in front of him. The only thing he does not like is like a tomatoey sauce, so he's not really a fan of spaghetti bolognese or like tomatoey pastas and stuff. Don't know why. I gave him so much tomatoey foods when he was a baby, and growing up he loved that. We just grow up and we go through stages where we don't like foods and things that we don't like, but doesn't mean you didn't give them it, because you did. Anyway, I'm rambling. But remember, they are individuals and they do like certain things and they will not like certain things. Edward is crazy for blueberries. I'm surprised he hasn't turned into a blueberry. He loves bananas. He loves anything to do with fruit and veg. I really hope this video was helpful to you and it gave you a bit more comfort about the whole weaning topic. It definitely was the most challenging part of parenthood I've come across. I don't know why. I think it was just a little bit scary. They're becoming older. It's the next step to them becoming more independent, and it does get hard. And now Edward just sits in his high chair with his fork and just feeds himself with his fork and his cup, and I just think, where's that time gone? Where has that time gone? It's crazy. So lastly, my advice to you would be keep going, keep powering through. Don't listen to other mums. If they're saying you shouldn't be weaning at 4.5, you shouldn't be weaning at 5, just go, well, my baby, that's what I want to do. Turn around and go, screw you, Sally, I'm doing it. So just do what you want to do. At the end of the day, your child, you know best. If you think your child's ready and then you're weaning and you do think, no, I don't think he was ready, you do just naturally know, I don't think my child's ready, take a step back, try again in a month. It is just play. So guys, this video was for the lovely Mother Hen Club. As you most probably know, I speak about them every single Sunday because these videos are for the Mother Hen Club. If you don't know, I am a mother hen to the club. They are a fantastic supportive community. I really can't rave about them enough, guys. They are so lovely, so real. There's a couple of us mother hens, and we all cover different topics because we've all got children at different ages. So whatever you're going through, there's definitely a mother hen there that can help support you. Everything you need to know about the mother hen will be all linked below. Go and follow them on Facebook and join up to their free membership, and you'll be alerted every time there's a brand new event going on. They do workshops and retreats. And go and follow them on Instagram so you can keep up to date with posts and everything that is going on. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't already for more supportive videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.